Police shoot a man following a chase that ended in Spring Valley. We're live with the details.
The couple accused in a double murder from this week plead not guilty. We learn this involves several children.
Area of low pressure bringing in a chance for some scattered to isolated showers over the next few days. We'll take a look coming up.
It's been 2 years since historic flooding devastated San Diego, and flood victims say they're still rebuilding.
CBS 8 News live at 6 starts right now.
Breaking news from out of the Spring Valley area, where a chase involving a reportedly stolen vehicle ended in the La Presa neighborhood with a San Diego police officer shooting the driver. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Carla Chiquetto.
I'm Stephanie Simmons. This is happening at Hamishaw Road and Gillespie Drive. That's where CBS 8's Richard Allen joins us live with the latest on what we know right now and new video just into our newsroom. Richard.
And Stephanie and Carlo, that investigation going on behind me as we speak. Now, as you mentioned, in the past hour, we have obtained 2 videos of this officer-involved shooting. Now, we want to warn you that both videos are difficult to watch. The first one you're about to see, taken by an eyewitness a short distance from the shooting. Take a look. Now, in a highly unusual move following the release of that video, San Diego police released a short portion of their body cam footage of this incident. Now, usually it takes days or even weeks for the police to release this video. This one was released, though, within hours, showing the incident. Again, difficult to watch. Take a look at this.
Oh, now, or you're going to get tased.
Is that a real gun?
Get on the...
Get on the ground!
Oh, I see the gun.
Yeah?
Is that a real gun?
Hey, you want to... Yeah, it is. Do not reach for the gun! Do not reach for that gun! Hey!
Shots fired. Shots fired.
So what led up to all of this? Authorities tell us that the man who was ultimately shot by police had been driving an SUV that had been reported stolen from the Lincoln Park area earlier in the day. Police spotted that stolen vehicle and a pursuit ensued, ending here on Hamishaw Road in Spring Valley. After that suspect crashed into a light pole with the SUV. That light pole came crashing down onto a police cruiser. Thankfully, the officer inside the cruiser only suffered minor injuries. Now, following that, the suspect got out of the stolen car. Now, according to police, he did not comply with their commands, and the officer-involved shooting followed that, as you saw in those videos. Now, back out live here in Spring Valley, we were just updated a short while ago from the Sheriff's Department. The Sheriff's Department is conducting the investigation into this officer-involved shooting involving San Diego police, as is protocol. We understand the suspect at this point is in the hospital. He's in surgery, and he is in stable condition. So we are continuing to follow this breaking news. We'll bring you the latest on later broadcasts of CBS 8 and on CBS8.com. Stephanie and Carla?
All right, Richard, thank you, and stay with us for the latest on this developing story. We will post any updates for you on CBS8.com, and you can also follow us on social media or download our free CBS 8 app.
New tonight, the couple accused in a double murder earlier this week were in court for the first time today. Ramses Morales and Princess Perez pleaded not guilty. Police found Ruben Chavez and Evelyn Virgen shot dead in Grant Hills shortly after midnight Monday, with 3 children in a car nearby.
CBS 8's Abby Black was in court today following today's hearing. She joins us live now outside of the courthouse. And Abby, we understand you learned some complicated connections between the suspect and those victims.
Yes, we've learned through court records that the victim, Ruben Chavez, and the suspect, Princess Perez, were exes fighting over child custody. And the deputy DA says that Perez was there during the shooting and she fled along with her boyfriend, drove her boyfriend across the border, and then they returned at the San Ysidro Port of Entry, and that's where they were arrested. The deputy DA says that Perez, again, was part of all this as an accessory to murder. The courtroom today was filled with the victim's family and friends, but they're just not ready to comment.
defendants have been held on no bail.
The judge ordered us to blur their faces, Ramses Morales and Princess Perez. The deputy DA did not want to say what the motive was, but called this a complicated case. 9 children are connected to the suspects and the victims. Prosecutors say that Morales used a shotgun to kill the victims, Ruben Chavez and Evelyn Virgin, while 3 children, one they shared, were found in a car nearby. All of the children were under the age of 2. We dug into court records and found that Chavez had been fighting for custody of his 2 kids with his ex, Perez. He wanted joint custody but could only see them with supervision. Morales is charged with 2 counts of murder with special circumstances and 3 counts of child endangerment. Perez is charged as an accessory, but the deputy DA says that she is still under investigation. He calls this a senseless gun violence tragedy.
It's a terrible situation. They've been affected by horrible street violence. Our heart goes out to them and their families, and we'll do our best to see that justice occurs in this case.
Preliminary examination February 4.
The deputy DA says that Morales and Perez have a child together. All the children are now with family. If Perez is convicted, she faces 3 years in jail, but the deputy DA says that her role in this murder is still being investigated. Now, if Morales is convicted, he faces the death penalty. New on CBS 8 News at 7, we'll hear more from the deputy DA and these special circumstances that Morales faces. We'll have that new for you on CBS 8 News at 7.
All right, Abby, thank you. Scattered showers expected overnight with more activity possible over the next couple of days.
Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis joins us now for a first look at what we can expect. Is it anything significant this time?
No.
So it's just annoying rain.
There you go.
There
That's
you
a good
go.
way
Okay.
to put it.
Just annoying.
Nuisance.
Okay, nuisance. Well, we're just going through all the synonyms right now, aren't we?
We got a list.
We do, but here's the thing. We were talking about enough to get roads slick, so please use caution out there. We do have some light showers that are starting to move in right there along the coastline, and when we just kind of pause it and see what's sticking, you have a little bit more on the moderate side, and that is for Oceanside. So we are looking at a chance for some wet weather, starting to see some of that activity rolling in for tonight, but it's not until we get to the overnight hours that we start to see it a little bit more on the moderate to roughly like light to moderate side. And so that is going to be once that low gets closer towards us. So it's going to sweep over northern Baja, be east of us by Saturday evening. Chance for some scattered showers in the forecast tonight through early morning for tomorrow. Isolated activity is possible on Friday as well as Saturday. So when we set the clock in motion, still seeing some of that activity for North County around 8 a.m. 8 p.m. that's starting to move on shore. And then we get into those overnight hours, about 3 in the morning all the way into about 5 o'clock hour. We're looking at that activity extend from the coast towards the mountains, and then it starts to let up once we get roughly to about 7 a.m. Then we get to a few isolated showers. We'll take a look at your complete forecast and just how much we could see coming up. Carla.
Thanks, Carlene. And as always, you can find an extended weather forecast on the CBS 8 app. Stream now for free. Tonight, 2 county supervisors are taking new steps to cut toxic exposure in the South Bay and finally get answers for residents who have been living with it for years.
The plan by Supervisor Tara Lawson-Remer and Supervisor Paloma Aguirre includes $2.5 million for a temporary pipe extension to reduce toxic emissions at a known sewage hotspot on Saturn Boulevard. It also sets aside $2.25 million for long-term health studies designed to track the effects of South Bay residents that they may face after years of exposure.
Here we know that there's acute symptoms, right? We have watery eyes, coughs, respiratory issues. We have yet to even understand what the long-term health exposure of these pollutants is.
The proposal goes before the full board on Tuesday. The money would come from county emergency funds while they continue pushing for state and federal support.
Today marks 2 years since historic flooding devastated neighborhoods in southeast San Diego, and some of the people who live in those neighborhoods say they are still trying to rebuild.
CBS 8's Shannon Handy reports from Shelltown, where residents gather today to commemorate the anniversary.
Flood victims gather here this morning at Osborne Street, where a lot of these homes flooded. They say Even though it happened 2 years ago, it still feels like yesterday, and they don't want anyone, including the city, to forget.
This is how everything is.
Bebe Sarate's shelter home still has signs of destruction dating back to January 22nd, 2024.
2 years ago, still, we got flooded.
She's not alone.
I had no idea the depth and the scale of the destruction and the suffering.
Today, she and her neighbors gathered outside her home to pray and share stories from that day, which will be etched in their memories forever. This video is captured in their neighborhood. You can see people being rescued in waist-high water. Others got out on their own. Some sought refuge on roofs as they watched and waited helplessly. Even 2 years later, there's still fear it could happen again.
There's still tires back there. There's still trash back there. There's so much work more that needs to be done.
Greg Montoya is referring to the canal behind his Beta Street home, which also flooded. He's not convinced the city has done enough to prevent another massive flood. This video was taken a few weeks ago on New Year's Day at the end of his street following a rainstorm.
Thank God the neighbors were here to go to the only storm drain we have in this area and cleaned it out.
Meantime, the city just announced they will be receiving $4.36 million in federal funds to help with 4 area stormwater infrastructure projects, including the Beta Street Channel. Montoya, who is suing the city along with more than 1,800 other people over the 2024 floods, says though hopeful, he fears nothing will change.
Because I have 20 years of asking them to take care of the storm drain behind my house here, that there is no storm drains, that my house gets flooded all the time. So I won't believe it till I see it.
As for that lawsuit, it is still pending. There is a hearing scheduled in February with a potential trial date set for October. Reporting in Charlottetown, I'm Shannon Handy for CBS 8.
Thank you, Shannon. A new update on a lawsuit challenging Prop 50.
What the U.S. Supreme Court is saying about the legal fight still ahead. Plus, a new state push by lawmakers to hold rideshare companies accountable for driver misconduct.
And Senator Adam Schiff sounds the alarm after touring California's largest ICE detention facility. We'll share what he found inside and why he says the state faces a painful budget crisis. That's after this.